So I'm here with Forrest Roberts, CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and we've been here for almost a week at the Five Nations Beef Alliance Conference. But some people are having a hard time understanding what exactly is the Five Nations, so maybe you can touch on that for us.
Sure. The Five Nations Beef Alliance has been in existence now for almost 10 years. And when you look at the group, what we do is we come together to talk about issues that are common across the major beef producing countries in the globe. And it's all focused toward how we look at enhancing consumer confidence and resulting in increased consumer demand in beef all around the globe. And again, it's really focused back to areas of common interest. It started around how we look at trade policy, and it's expanded from there.
Brilliant. Who's involved with it right now?
Right now we have, as the name implies, 5 nations, so Canada, US, Mexico, Australia, and New Zealand. And we've had an opportunity here this week in Australia to really look at the annual conference where we focused on, again, issues of common interest, talk about how we work together collaboratively to address these issues, and also capitalize on what we see to be a lot of opportunities, specifically when we look at how we enhance consumer confidence in beef.
And are you hoping to expand the Five Nations?
We did discuss that quite a bit here this week in Australia. We're looking at the opportunity to expand the alliance specifically in the area of South American beef countries. So we have ongoing discussions right now with Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and we're also looking at the opportunity to bring in a country from the European Union. Most likely Ireland would be a country we would look at working with as well. So quite frankly, we could look at a 5 Nations Beef Alliance over the course of the next few years becoming perhaps a 10-nation beef alliance. Again, there's a set of principles that we all work toward, and so the areas of common interest are really founded within those principles, and that's what's really made it successful over the past 10 years.
So what are some of the accomplishments that you've seen in your time in the Five Nations?
Well, I've been involved with it now for about 4 years. And during that time, we've had an opportunity to really go back to, again, the purpose for why it was formed, and that was to look at areas of common interest around trade policy. So as free trade agreements, for example, were being formed, we've been able to work together and find a way that we could work with our governments in a very collaborative way, and we would have a common set of principles that would be applied in a lot of free trade agreements. So currently, we're focused on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. But in the past, we've also been able to look at issues, marketing access issues like country of origin labeling, and how we work together between countries like Canada and Mexico and the US to resolve those types of trade disputes, if you will. Here this week, we've been able to not only move into the area or move beyond trade policy, we've been able to focus on areas around animal well-being as well as beef sustainability. And last but certainly not least is how we take young leaders and engage them in the process in talking about these key issues and how we can provide the best solution, not just for our industry today, but for our industry now in the next 1 to 2 decades into the future.
Where does the Five Nations derive most of its funding for all these achievements, I guess?
All of the funding for the Five Nations Beef Alliance to this point has been by beef producers. So the 5 countries and the producer organizations representing each country has been the complete investor into this effort now for well over a decade. As we look to the future, we're considering some corporate sponsors to be able to help us as we continue to grow, and we look at our ability to come together on an annual basis to talk about areas of common interest. So we're looking at that as an opportunity for growth as we talk about our expansion efforts, and we think that'll be still a very core balance, that it will be continued to be primarily funded through producer dollars.
And you guys were in Banff last year, and this year you're in Australia. Where are you headed next?
Next year it will be the USA, the United States, will have their turn to host the annual conference. And so we're looking at the opportunity in the first week of October in 2014 to have, again, the 5 countries that are participating in the alliance today. And quite frankly, it could be, as I mentioned earlier, possibly 10 countries in total. We'll start in the state of Texas and wrap up in the state of Colorado. And it'll be an opportunity for the delegates to be able to look at the complete beef supply chain within the United States and have an opportunity to, again, address a lot of the issues of common interest. So we're really looking forward to hosting the Five Nations Beef Alliance next year in October of 2014 in the United States.